welcome everybody to another episode of the Snap Count podcast. Today, there's a big group of us today to chat about free agency. Woo! We're all excited, as you can tell. So on my left is Ross. He's not been here for a while. He's the baby. He's the child.
Baby.
Welcome back.
Finally.
He's the gangster with his gangster hat.
Yeah,
he's
always.
very excited to be back. How are you, Ross? You all right?
Good. Yeah, I'm good.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Good. You
I'm
seem
looking forward to
you
this.
seem a little too excited.
I am a little bit.
Can
Shall I calm down?
you take the hat off?
No.
No. Okay. Hat's
Oh,
staying on.
his headset's over it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Next to him is Stephen, the historian. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Are you
Well
ready
studied.
Are you ready to drop some history on us?
No, I'm going to save it
What a
for
man.
the proper post-season, the really quiet weeks.
The really
I'm
dull
not going to
weeks.
bust it out too soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not busting out the history. Matthew Field, the scout. How are you?
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, only
Right,
Only
well,
okay.
we'll move on.
What's that?
We'll move on. And Danny.
Hello.
The
What nickname have I got this week?
Well, you're normally spreadsheet man, but you didn't do one.
I did one for myself.
Oh, all right. You
I
did
don't.
one
I
for
didn't
yourself.
have
my
a
own
nickname.
notes. You can
I
make
didn't
your
get a
own.
nickname.
You were baby.
I am
The
baby.
child.
Baby
Baby
face.
face.
Yeah.
Baby
Yeah.
Bronx.
Baby Bronx.
Baby Bronx. Yeah. So today, as I mentioned before, we're going to be talking about free agency mostly. A lot has happened in a week. As we said last week when we went through all the free agency and stuff, it is a very exciting time of the season. There's been lots of signings, and we will get to that shortly. But first, we're going to be talking about the news. Now, obviously, most of the news is about free agency this week, but there has been some political sort of turnings going on. The first of which is quite a silly move by a gentleman called Jeff Miller. He's the senior vice president of the NFL. Now, we've all heard about the concussion problems that the NFL players are going through, and there are some who are suing the league. I think, is that still going through, the lawsuit? Anyone know?
Yeah, I think that
No
is
idea.
continuing.
Yeah, I think it is, and certainly the film that came out with Will
I'll
Smith.
do my impression.
But basically, what's happened is no,
Too late.
too late. He's done it. It was solid. It was very good. Basically, what's happened is he has inadvertently admitted to a link between the NFL and a condition called CTE, which is chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
That's going to cost them.
It is going to cost them. It's kind of up to this point they have not denied, as in it's
Denied.
completely
They haven't
outrageous,
confirmed.
but haven't confirmed exactly. They've kind of said that there is no causative link. There is a chap called Dr. McKay, I can't remember, who has had some research recently. So bad thing for the NFL, Steve. Do you think?
I can't see that it'd make that dramatic a difference. To me, when you look at the evidence, it's pretty conclusive anyway. I don't.
It is. Does it? Do you not think that they need to address this though? If
I'm sure they will. Well, they will have to, whether they want to or not.
Yeah.
They will be forced to. But the evidence seems to be there.
It does. It does.
It will be dealt with before too long, I'm sure.
I know there is some new helmet designs that are...
Yeah, didn't you post that?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the company now, which is... I wish I knew you were going to say this
Oh.
breaking news.
Well, there's
Um,
breaking. It's breaking,
yeah.
Danny.
But yeah, they've redesigned the way it cushions the blows to the head that absorb the impact rather than something else. I don't know. It was really confusing.
Damage your head.
It was all very
Yeah.
scientific.
You don't want damage to your head, basically.
But it basically the actual shell of the helmet bends
Mm.
to sort of cushion the impact.
absorb some of the energy. Or
Yeah,
something.
It's like a
Uh,
cycling helmet.
It's all very clever.
Well, it makes sense. The big lads, and they just dive at each other with their heads because, well, they're idiots. I suppose. And they're crazy.
Because
But
linemen, that's why.
so this is kind of it is. Well, it's quite a big bit of news in that somebody very high up in the NFL has sort of admitted. He didn't admit to it, but he said that this research, there is some evidence towards it. So we'll see how that plays out. If anything does change, hopefully it will, because safety first, people. Second bit of political news, I suppose, is Roger Goodell, who he's lost a little bit of power now. Apparently, this is all to do with out of season and off season disciplinary hearings. Apparently, he is involved in the disciplinary panel, so he helps dish out the disciplines, but he's also involved in the appeals panel. Now, he's losing the power over the disciplinary part of it. it's a bit of a kind of not a nothing story, but because it's Roger Goodell and everybody hates him, as Danny booed there.
Recreating the draft.
There is a
atmosphere.
bit of fluff around it. Basically, he said that he's quite happy about it because he will open up time to do other things and things
Maybe
like
he's going
that.
to take a pay cut because he's taking less responsibility.
Maybe, I doubt it.
I
It's
don't
all-
highly doubt that.
It's all spin. And
The
It
whole,
is all
He'd
spin.
have a
the
pay
whole
rise.
story reminds me of Senator Palpatine from Star Wars, but it's just gone the other way. So if Jar Jar Binks had cast his vote the other way, then this is what would happen.
What the hell are you
Great
talking
Star
about?
Wars reference.
Something
No,
dark side.
You're trying to really shoehorn that one in there.
Right. I'd like to just announce that is the end of Danny's involvement in this because he mentioned the words Jar Jar Binks in a podcast. So thanks, Danny,
Pop
for your
culture,
time. But yeah, you'll be edited out after this point. So those are the kind of the political news. There are other news. Some naughty boys. We'll start with Martavis Bryant for the Steelers. He has a year-long suspension for drugs. I have put in my notes the idiot. I mean, he is. Ross,
He's done a Josh Gordon.
He's done a
Yeah.
Josh Gordon. Yeah, because he was off for how many games was it last year?
4 games.
Four
yeah,
games.
first
Do it
and
once, 4-game ban, and next time, whole season.
He's
Bit of a
Danny.
jump.
Danny, you were saying that he's claiming depression or something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, his agent came out and said that he's checked into rehab
Mm.
for depression, and that was before they decided that they weren't going to appeal the case. So it probably wouldn't have helped if they
No.
hadn't decided not to appeal, which they have now.
Big loss, Ross, for the Steelers. Do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
He's a good
Definitely.
player, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's probably one of the best receivers in the league at the moment. I mean, their
Mm.
offense is still pretty good anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's definitely one of the top.
Well, he is.
That's
Well,
a big
he's-
loss, definitely.
Well, if it wasn't for Antonio Brown, he would be he would be
Yeah.
fine as a wide receiver one. really,
he's
wouldn't
Yeah,
almost
definitely
averaging a touchdown a game
Yeah.
the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it is a shame, and obviously, we can't judge. We don't know what's going on in his personal life, but you've kind of got to think a guy who's done this 2 years running he's not making the smartest
I
decisions.
think
Let's say.
the
So-
agent, I think it was the agent that came out and said that it was rather than an addiction problem, it was like a coping thing because of this depression.
Yeah,
that he's got.
coping mechanism.
Yeah,
with
I don't know if
depression
that's
and
just,
stress,
again,
but
spin
again,
or-
yeah, it could be spin. couldn't it?
Probably is a bit of spin. It probably is a bit of spin. But if he is, I suppose all we can say, if he is genuinely ill with it, then everybody wishes him the best. But yeah, not the best way to deal with it, Martavis. And hopefully, if he does go to rehab, we will see him in the future.
Comes out stronger the other side.
Exactly. So
Maybe he can go and sell cars like Josh
he
Gordon.
can go and join Josh Gordon selling cars.
Josh Gordon
yeah,
did a bit of
indeed.
painting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Turned
exactly.
into a
This
bit
is
of an
how
artist.
you turn your life around.
Making a living.
Selling cars,
Channel-
make a living.
Channel
yeah.
those problems.
So speaking of naughty boys, poor Nicholas, his beloved DeQuell Jackson has. He did this last February. He apparently punched a Domino's pizza delivery boy. We don't know why he did it, but he punched him. He's been found guilty of doing this. He is being sentenced, I think, early April. And then once he's been sentenced, probably it's been classed as a misdemeanor, so he's probably not going to get much from the side of the law. But as we know, the NFL are quite tough on these kind of things. So we could expect probably some bans, Steve, do you think?
I'd have thought so. Yeah, I can't think of a precedent. I know. I can't think of any other player that's punched a pizza delivery guy. But so I really haven't got a clue what to expect. But I'm sure there will be a punishment of some
I guess the
description.
closest is Ray Rice.
Yeah,
That's quite
yeah,
tough,
that
though.
was
That's-
quite hardcore.
It's probably
Unless it
fair.
was
Yeah.
female pizza
Well,
delivery.
yeah.
it's the closest I
Yeah.
can think of.
It's to be fair.
I don't think there's any CCTV footage that's
No,
been
no,
concealed now on this particular case.
I think. Well, at least we can say he won't be getting any deliveries anytime soon, and he won't be getting his.
Have to start.
Greg
Going to
Harris
collect-
Chat
going to collect it and stuff.
Peyton.
Domino's.
See if he can get in on some of the Papa John's.
Ah, Papa
Yeah.
John's. Yeah, he's got options. We have, just as we were talking, a message came through. Mainly from our friend Dave, who, as we said before, likes to message us when he's not on the show, saying that it was a hoax, but apparently it's not actually a hoax. Danny, as a Cardinals fan, would you like to tell us what
Yes.
the breaking news story is?
We have traded our second round pick and our guard Cooper for Chandler Jones from the Patriots.
Boom.
Boom.
Big trade.
Bombshell.
I think
Big
I'd say
trade.
probably the biggest trade so
Blockbuster.
far this season, but
So
gives
what-
us a pass rush.
So, that's Calais Campbell and Chandler Jones.
Yeah,
That's quite mean.
and
Yes.
I'm not sure what's going on with Dwight Freeney. I'm not sure he's hanging
He's
about.
still unsigned, I believe.
Okay,
he
so
could
we
be coming
might
back.
we
You
might
never
sign
know.
him back because he did a job last year as well. But yeah, pass rushing was just somewhere I think where we were lacking a bit. And
Still not awful though. Your pass rush, not great,
Yeah.
but not awful.
it
Not
was
the worst.
definitely.
in the
I think
league.
it was. I don't know if it's going to be the same now, but I think it would have been the first thing we would have addressed with the draft. That may change.
Strong team for next year.
I hope so.
I made a prediction on the journey here that I said the Cardinals would make the Super Bowl next year.
That's big. That's a bold prediction.
Yeah,
Boom.
that is
Oh,
my
we-
bold prediction
we
for the
might
season.
at some
Carson
point in the
Palmer
season.
will need to overcome the playoff
Yes.
jitters.
Yeah,
That was my reply.
We probably will at
I've
some
lost
point
a bit of
in the post-season, pre-season, whatever kind of side of it we're on. We will be doing predictions. I think that's a good way to start, Ross.
Yeah.
That's a bold
Straight
prediction.
away.
We like bold predictions.
Start it.
I think
Started
you're probably
already.
Note
I
that
think you could
down.
be right. I think you could be right.
15th of March, Ross has called it.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of it so far. As I say, other than free agency, any other business, boys? Any other news that you know of? No, there's
No.
shakes
No
all around
idea.
the tape.
No.
You know, they've still not quite got this recording thing, as everybody's looked at me and shook their heads.
Oh, actually, no. There is one.
So-
There is one bit of news which I think I don't know if it was mentioned last week or not, but it's official now that Jason Pierre-Paul will be able to grip a ball again, and he won't be using a club
Oh,
next
no,
season.
we talked
So
about it.
He's had
Yeah.
some
Did.
extra surgery and
Oh, awesome.
he's got his grip back.
Do you know what has he lost? Because we were talking
No, I
about this
can't
last
remember.
week. Oh.
I think it was.
It's
half
one of his fingers,
thumb
isn't it?
and
Thumb
and a
finger.
finger.
And a
Yeah.
finger,
Thumb
yeah.
and half a finger, wasn't it? I think something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's,
I don't think
it's
that's
a
full
full
digits.
something and half a something.
Oh, full
But I
something
don't
and
know.
half a- So he's down. He's down 1.5 digits. We know
Yeah.
that. We just don't know 100% which
Not
digits
sure
they
which
are.
ones which.
But that's good news. Particularly good news for the Giants because they have re-signed him, and they're looking like they could have a reasonably mean defence next year.
It's got to be better.
Well,
than last year.
it's got to be better than last year. So that kind of leads us nicely into free agency. So as we said, lots and lots of signings. Very, very busy. Very, very busy. A lot of the ones that we talked about last week have gone through. There's been a hell of a lot more coming through as well. So we're going to play a little bit of a game. We are going to go... Well, first of all, we're going to talk about our sort of worst signings or moves in free agency. So not necessarily signings. It could be drops. It can be, whatever we like. So we've all done our kind of bottom 5, and then we've done our top 5 as well for signings. So we're going to go around the table. We're going to have, sort of do one by one, and then we'll have a little bit of a chat about them as well. So we might as well start with you, Ross. Do you want to just say one of your 5 worst moves?
Well, I've done... Well, starting off a little bit different. I haven't
Okay.
done players, I've done teams.
No, that's fine. If you want to do teams. So
They're not in any order, but my first team who hasn't had a very good free agency, I think, was the Miami Dolphins.
okay, do you want to explain?
I mean, they've had quite a few big losses. They lost Oliver Vernon, Lamar Miller as well. I mean, he was kind of on and off, as you could probably tell us from your fantasy pick.
Yeah.
And they've lost a couple of receivers as well, Rashard
Matthews,
Matthews
yeah.
and Grimes. And I mean, they haven't really picked up that much, to be honest. They haven't picked up any big names, which I
Well,
thought they might try, but
I suppose the biggest was the trade, really, wasn't it? With
Yeah.
Alonso and Maxwell. But
Yeah, no,
even
definitely.
then, that's not massive. I mean, Steve, you don't look impressed.
No,
No.
well, I think if you're looking purely as players, they're
Mm.
guys that could potentially come in and help. But Maxwell, in particular, will be on a big contract.
Yeah.
And whether he's going to give enough help to justify the money he's on,
Probably
I'm
not.
not convinced by.
They did sign Mario Williams.
Mario Williams, yeah.
They did,
Um,
yeah, they did. That's true. But
I mean, all 3 of these players though are coming off down years, really.
It's true.
they are. Mario Williams, as we said before, he's on the wrong side of 30. Still, in his time, he's been an absolute beast of a player, and he could potentially still do that again. But you've got to think, you're right, Olivier Vernon going. He was a real up and
About
comer.
5 years younger as well.
Yeah,
than,
5 years
Williams.
younger. He's got a lot of gas left in the tank, I suppose, if we're talking American there.
I have
Um,
just noticed that on the spreadsheet that you've diligently put together.
Oh,
this
yeah, I
week,
have. Yeah, I know.
We are
Well,
missing a
useful
certain Mario Williams.
Yeah, we are. No,
But that's
yeah.
true.
because he was cut and then signed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was.
So this
These
is
are
just
the people
unrestricted
who were
free
released.
agents.
These are, yeah,
I
yeah.
see.
So yes, we should
Right.
explain. I did put a spreadsheet together basically free agents who had just been signed by each team. I did think as I was putting it through, where's Mario Williams? But yes, that's why. So Mario Williams, yes, has been
I'll
signed.
take that back.
They've also signed a free safety from where's he come from? Let's have a little look.
Detroit.
The Lions.
Oh yes, Detroit. Yeah, so Abdul Qudus for a reasonable amount of money, not a massive amount of money, and a left tackle from Jacksonville for little to no money really. So yeah, you're right. I think not massive, not brilliant
Yeah,
for the
haven't
off-season.
really done that much.
So planning maybe,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
really seem to have had a plan. It's kind of hard
No.
to see.
No.
Well, what are they trying to do? I'm not really.
Well, we have just heard that
Sure.
they were going for CJ Anderson, but the offer's been matched, hasn't it? So
Yeah, Broncos have just matched the offer.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
So running backs, they could be looking for a running back in the draft.
Yeah.
Could
even
be,
though
should
they've
be then.
just from the trade with the Eagles means that they've dropped down, which means they could miss out on the best running back, who may end up with the Eagles.
Oh dear.
So they may shot themselves in the foot.
Oh dear, Miami. No, yeah, not done brilliantly. Not done brilliantly. So, Steve, what's your
Well, I'm going to be controversial, I think.
okay?
I might
Love it,
be
controversy.
in a minority of one amongst us with this, I suspect. But my number one negative or pick that I don't like is Brock Osweiler to the
Act-
Texans.
Ooh,
See,
interesting.
I was in two minds about this one, but explain. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't like it from mainly from Brock's perspective. I'm unconvinced, given the money he's getting from the Texans'
It's
perspective.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
money.
and-
He's probably more than happy.
But, yeah,
I'm sure
absolutely.
he is.
Yeah, he's winning financially. But also from the Broncos, I understand. I like that Elway stuck to his guns, and he had a certain valuation, and that he didn't want to go over that. Even though he finds himself in a bit of a quandary now as to who he's going to use instead. But Osweiler started 7 games last year. Looked okay. Didn't look great.
Not worth 18
I
million
heard
a year.
today since he's left high school, I think he started 25 games.
Wow.
So he's still very undercooked, even though he's got 4 years in the NFL behind him. And I think it's a big gamble that if it does backfire, and I'm not absolutely convinced that it will backfire, but if it does, that could be the end of Bill O'Brien's career. And the GM there, who I don't know the name of,
No.
they're really put themselves out on a
Invested a
limb
lot
for
in him.
Brock Osweiler.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I agree with you. I was in two minds of whether to have him on my negative list. I didn't, but I was I was considering it for all the reasons that you've mentioned. I think it's great for him because he's getting paid a ridiculous amount of money. I've got it in front of me. It's 72 million over 4 years, but 37 guaranteed, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous for a player who played 7
7
games.
Yeah, I
And-
don't think Sanchez is the answer, but statistically, if you look at the stats, Sanchez to Brock, there's not a great deal of difference.
Well, and you've got to think, we talked about Peyton a lot, but Peyton had his worst season last season, and he was actually almost a hindrance to the Broncos team, and they still won the Super Bowl. So, would I rather have a Houston team with a relatively unknown quantity, leading the charge, or that Broncos defense, albeit a tiny bit weakened, with Mark Sanchez? Yeah, he's not going to blow you away, but he can be solid.
That's
under the
why
right-
I say money aside,
Mm.
it's not a great fit for Brock.
No?
He would have been much better set up for immediate success and establishing himself as a franchise-type quarterback in the league had he stayed in Denver.
Well, and like you say, I think he wanted to stay there, and I think he tested the free agent market, and John Elway doesn't negotiate with terrorists. So
Texans, you mean?
with Texans, yes, Texans. So yeah, and he doesn't negotiate. So bye, Brock.
I think
You're
if you
off
look
to
at it from the
Houston.
other perspective, you've got Brian Hoyer or Brock Osweiler, and I know we haven't seen a lot of Brock, but we have seen a lot of Hoyer, and it's never really impressed. So I think from that side of the perspective,
I think a
could-
change was definitely needed, but I feel they've
And-
kind of handcuffed themselves to Osweiler, who is
in
an
terms of
unproven
money, yeah.
quantity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just say the one reason why I didn't put it in my negatives is because I kind of like a punt, and that is a real punt because I think if it works, everybody is going to be saying brilliant, great move, Bill O'Brien, great move, Texans, and to be honest, I mean that is probably their biggest flaw is quarterback. Their defense is very good. They've got some good weapons on offense. They've now got Lamar Miller
Got a
as
good running
well.
back
So
in there, yeah.
if it works, brilliant. And yeah, I kind of think they obviously looked at it. They thought, right, we're not going to get one in the draft. There's not really much else out there. Let's just chuck some money at it and see what happens. Bill O'Brien, if he was going to have another season with Hoyer, he's not going to be there anyway. So, why not? Why not go for it? Why not go for it? Matthew,
Hello.
go on, pick one. Give us a negative.
Well, I don't like this deal, and it is the Falcons signing Mohamed Sanu.
Yeah. Okay.
And I believe
Done
they've
well.
signed him, and he's been massively overpaid. And a bit like Brock, he's not really ever done anything in his years in the league. He's been sitting there behind AJ Green and even Marvin Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's only once ever got over 500 yards. And he's now picked up a lovely contract for $32.5 million.
Yeah. 14 guaranteed as well, which is no small amount of money.
No, I understand they've lost Roddy White, but I think they've overpaid. So I'm looking at it from I just believe they've given too much money.
I agree with you. I think, and then when you look at, admittedly there wasn't a lot on the wide receiver market, but
Well, that's probably pushed up his price, obviously.
yeah, he as a backup to Julio Jones, there are worse, but there are a lot better.
Oh yeah,
doesn't inspire me.
I
No.
still don't think he's really proved himself or established himself as a WR2 in the
No.
league.
He's
I don't
built.
think he's what they needed either, because he's been playing mostly in the slot for the Bengals, and that's where Justin Hardy's already playing for the Falcons. And I don't think he's a huge improvement. I've got it noted in my notes that he got the fifth lowest yards per route last season.
Wow.
How many touchdowns
Roddy
does he
White
get?
was first lowest, so
It-
they have improved slightly from Roddy White, but not a huge
Hey, look,
amount.
if that's what they set out to do,
yeah,
they're
he's
one step up from Roddy
Definitely
White.
been
Brilliant.
overpaid.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I think that was a silly. I think that was a desperation move, really, wasn't it? Because they were panicked about what else there was.
Yeah, draft. Could have just drafted someone.
They could have just drafted somebody.
but they have
yeah.
many needs.
They do. Yeah, they do have quite a lot of needs. Danny.
Well, I'm kind of going to leapfrog on the back of that one, actually, because I was going to say the Bengals giving up both Jones and Sanu. I think from both the Bengals and the Lions' perspective, I don't think the Jones was a good deal. He may have been the best option out there in terms of wide receivers on free agency, but is he a replacement for Megatron? Is he even close?
Well,
A
it's
replacement?
either
I mean,
that or they're going to use Tate as a replacement for Megatron, and Jones is going to
which-
be. Which I actually had Jones on my list, and my reason was neither Tate or Jones have actually proved themselves as a wide receiver one.
No. I mean, Tate he has done well when
I like
Megatron's been
Tate.
out injured, but
Yeah.
he's
They're going to draft someone.
If you
They're
look
gonna
at
have
Tate's stats in Detroit compared to what they were in Seattle, where at that time Doug Baldwin hadn't made the leap and he was more a WR1. Different offense, of course, but his stats have exploded since he's moved to Detroit.
But
But
then
that's because he's opposite Megatron.
Yeah, exactly.
Can
yeah.
he keep that
doesn't-
up when he's opposite Marvin
Exactly.
Jones?
Yeah.
And then from the Bengals' perspective, they're left with they've still got AJ Green and Tyler Eifert, but then the names I've got after that are James Wright, Mario Alford, and Brandon Tate.
Who?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know who any of those are.
Draft, maybe.
So I think
Well, it's
Bengals
gonna
have
have
left
to be, isn't it?
themselves thin at wide receiver, and Lions aren't really
Anquan Boldin's still out there, isn't he? He hasn't.
He is,
He hasn't
yeah.
been
I
on
don't
the
think anyone's got him yet.
lurking around.
There we go. Look at that, Anquan Boldin. So as I say, I mean, Marvin Jones was one of mine, so I won't use Marvin Jones. For me, I put Malik Jackson for Jacksonville.
Big
I
bucks.
like Jackson as a player. I think he actually, could improve Jacksonville defense. My problem is the amount of money that he was given. $85.5 million, 42 guaranteed. He's young. He's only 26, so you've got to say that he's got potential. He had a very good 2015. Nobody really knew who he was before then. My worry is that's a lot of your budget on a player who was in the best defence that we've seen for a long time. And is he going to be able to do that in Jacksonville when they've got yes, they're improving their defence, and I like what they've done. They've had other moves as well. To Sean Gibson, they've got brought in for free safety. He's pretty good free safety. But is it enough? And is he going to be able to bring up the rest of the team?
Well, any
really?
time these players in free agency, I mean, every year someone's going to get overpaid.
Yeah.
Probably the chances are Jackson's going to be overpaid. The production's never going to meet the financial penalty as such that they're going to be paying him.
Yeah.
And yeah, he could be okay, but he's not going to set the world on fire, I don't think.
No, and that's exactly the reason why I put him in there, because apparently they've done. I can't remember the players' names, I must admit, but they've done it in the past. Jacksonville, they've signed defensive players off of Super Bowls, big money, and they've done nothing. So
If you look at the
Let's hope they don't get in
the
a trap again.
Seahawks that have gone their separate ways
Mhm.
since then, and none of them have really done great after they've left the Legion of Boom.
Clemens is one of the guys that went to Jacksonville who
Yeah,
got paid after a Super Bowl in Seattle and
didn't earn it.
Didn't do anything.
under-delivered. Yeah.
Which, so that's my worry. That's my worry. Oh, we're back to the beginning,
Fair
Ross.
shout.
Give us another one.
So
Well,
negative.
again, I'm with the teams, and I think that
Just a
it
rebel.
might be
Always
might be
against the rules.
controversial, but I think the Broncos have had quite a bad.
I
free
agree.
agency.
I agree.
Yeah, no, I agree with
They've
you.
I
lost
don't think there's
Jackson,
anything controversial.
They've lost Osweiler, and they've lost. Well, I've got on my
Trevathan.
list. They've lost Trevathan and 14 others that haven't
Well,
re-signed.
they've still got. It's quite a few people. They've kept Anderson now. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It looks like that's.
Kept Henderson.
But
they've kept Miller
Ronnie
obviously
Hillman's
with the tag.
on
They
free agency.
kept Ware, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've
Where's
They
re-signed
kept
yeah.
Wolf
Ware.
going back a few months. They re-signed him towards the end of
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. I've got on here that they have signed a new left tackle from Kansas City, Donald Stevenson, which
Yeah.
That's a bad move.
that's
I can tell
Breaking
you now
news,
that
bad news.
that is a
that's
bad move.
dreadful. You
The
know
history
you're
of
a big
Donald.
follower of
He,
Stevenson.
he was a weakness. Obviously, being a Raiders fan, I know AFC West. I know what's going on there,
Yeah.
and he's been a weakness of the Chiefs' O-line for quite some time. So as long as he starts in Denver, I don't care.
No.
Mac will destroy him. But
I think that's positive. That's kind of a yay all round. None of us disagree.
Yeah,
with that,
no,
Ross.
definitely. I think. Yeah, I don't know who. Well, obviously Sanchez is going to be their quarterback. That I only found out that yesterday.
Yeah,
But yeah, we'll move on from that.
good keeping up, Ross.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm good at that.
Couldn't
Yeah.
be bothered to read through 400 odd messages.
No.
No, not particularly.
Couldn't. But
Poor amateur journalism.
well, I mean, the thing is, as we said before, we don't actually know whether Sanchez is a step down, but he's certainly not a massive step up from.
I think it's fair to say he's not going to be their starting quarterback.
Oh,
They
yeah,
traded him for a conditional draft pick. They
Yeah.
are still
He's
trying
not
to
their
get
plan A,
Kaepernick.
definitely.
No, he's not their plan A.
I'm a little bit surprised that Kaepernick at the moment seems to be the main person they're going for, rather
Oh,
than
yeah.
I'd say Fitzpatrick
Yeah,
would be a
they've got
better
Fitzpatrick
option.
still.
I think Fitzpatrick could be a similar situation to Brock in that
don't
unless
wanna pay
he
him too
lowers
much.
his price, they're
Yeah.
not interested.
Have you said what they apparently what the Broncos head office front office, whatever, think that Kaepernick's value is?
Well, they're
is
playing
fourth
hardball on
round
that
pick.
as well, aren't they?
Fourth
Fourth
round,
round
yeah.
pick.
Well, apparently San Francisco want more.
Which I think is generous
Second, they
after
want
the
to
year
use
he
him.
had
I think
last
it's
year.
generous.
He was terrible last
I'd say
year.
he
fifth
isn't
or
that
sixth.
great anymore.
Yeah, I'd say fifth or sixth personally.
49ers are in a. They can just say whatever they want right now. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're in the
that's-
position of strength.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because the 49ers are rubbish, they're kind of
If
they'll just
the
be another
Jets
rubbish for another
do-
year. Who cares?
Sign Fitzpatrick, then we may see Denver suddenly up their offer.
Yeah. Well, it's either that or RG3, really, isn't it?
Well, there's supposedly interest
around.
from Cleveland in
For
Kaepernick
RG3
as
or
well.
Kaepernick now.
Yeah, there would be.
We
Hugh
forgot
Jackson
about
wanted
Johnny.
to draft.
Johnny's there, Manziel. They could get him. Broncos could get
Johnny
him.
football.
He's
Blimey.
just awaiting a suspension.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
maybe
just
not.
a little one, maybe.
Don't do it, Denver. Maybe
I'm
not.
looking forward to the day where we finally forget Johnny Manziel's name and we don't mention him anymore, and he's just
Won't happen.
in the history books.
We're going to keep mentioning it.
There is a
Every
quarterback out there who's
podcast.
won a playoff game who they could bring back.
He's one of the top 5 most popular
Oh,
quarterbacks.
he's number 5. We went through this.
Tebow.
Tebow, yeah. No,
Tebow.
America still loves him. So let's hope the Broncos do as well.
That'd be great.
Steve, next one as you've just gulping down a bit of water.
Okay, well, I'll go Chris Ivory.
Chris Ivory.
Ivory.
okay. Yeah.
that's a controversial one.
Just because, again, I figured it might be a little controversial. I'm not sure that I see the need.
Because of Yeldon.
Yeah.
I agree.
They drafted Yeldon in, was it the first or second round?
Second,
pretty
I think.
early either way.
Yes.
Last
Second
year.
one.
He had a decent rookie year, overshadowed obviously by a certain running back in St. Louis. But I think he had a good rookie year. They seem fairly well set there. They've got Robinson, who's a decent change of pace type
Very
guy.
good.
Yeah, very good.
He's underrated, I think.
I'm just not sure that they really need to spend the money on Chris Ivory.
I agree with you. And actually, for a running back, it's
money.
it's not a bad contract. It's 32 million with 10 guaranteed, so it's not a bad contract.
I'm
And
not sure how it's structured. If
That's a
there's
fair
quite
point.
a lot up
That's a
front,
fair
and
point.
then after the second or third year, they could just get rid of him quite
Yeah.
cheaply.
Yeah, so that's the. To be fair, we don't know the actual kind of
Ins
behind
and
it,
outs.
but still, you kind of got to think it wasn't a position of need, and they've just chucked a bit of money,
I think
seemingly for no reason.
one struggle that Yeldon had though was red zone red zone carries. So I think maybe they're looking at Ivory to improve that.
But let go of
Part of the
Talbot.
game.
Not Talbot.
Gerhardt.
Gerhardt. That's the name. Yeah, Gerhardt.
Have they
Why
got
did
rid
I
of
get-
him now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
gone
he got
now.
released.
Well, he was
That
awful.
kind of went nowhere.
Yeah, he was awful. So that was fair enough.
Still,
Good choice. Good choice. Matthew.
Right,
Fetus.
I'm going to go with. I've got a few I could pick from. I'm going to go with Ben Watson.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I had this one.
Yeah, Ben Watson.
Okay.
I agree.
So former Saint, now a Raven.
He is.
I don't see the point in it. Basically, they.
In all honesty,
The end.
I don't see the point. He's 35.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he had a good year last year, but they did draft Max Williams. So I know they've got Crockett, but he's got injury issues.
Quite good. When
Yes,
he's on
they
the field, though.
they may
Yeah.
need 2 tight ends, but then have they given up on Williams already? Is there an issue there? Maybe he's just a role
Maybe-
player.
It,
And it's just-
could be Watson maybe as a sort of mentor for Williams, an older,
Um,
wiser head.
It's not big money that they've got him for either. So yeah, maybe,
No,
maybe
I
they've just.
I just don't see the need.
Is Pitter done?
I think.
Is
I
he
think,
finished?
I think
I
he's
think so.
pretty much done.
He just
Yeah.
falls apart, doesn't he?
He can't stay healthy. So I think they basically said, no, go away, Dennis. We don't want you anymore.
When
Which
I
it-
look at the Ravens, sort of what they need, tight end doesn't spring to mind as the most important position right now.
No, I would agree with you. They kind of need a lot more pieces in that puzzle.
They're not an offence historically that have really utilised tight end that much
No.
either
No.
over a long period.
They're not historically an offence that's utilised offence. Really,
Was
a lot
was
of
it the
this is-
Ravens that
well,
were?
it's their
against,
defence that
um,
has really carried them. For
Was
a
it the
lot of
Ravens and the
but-
Broncos in Week 1 that there was no offensive touchdown scored in that game?
Yeah.
It was all special teams and turnovers.
I think so. Yeah. I
Ravens
actually,
and
they've
our
won
Super Bowl
two
champions.
Super Bowls
Yeah.
They have.
with
I actually-
strong defense.
I do have a little bit of a soft spot for Baltimore. It's partly because I've read a book about them, and it's
not The Wire. No.
No, it's not. Well, I like The Wire,
that's
but no, it's a book called Next Man Up,
When you walk
which
in the
is about the
garden.
2004-2005 Ravens. So I've got a bit of a soft spot for them. I do like Flacco, as he's not the most glamorous quarterback in the world, but he's solid.
He renegotiated his
He did.
That's true.
contract.
Just
He
giving
did.
them
Quite a lot
more
of
To
money
to
free up
play
some
with,
money, which is good.
which I don't seem
So
to have
Ben Watson,
done much.
what are you doing? We don't like you, Danny.
I'm going to go with Janoris Jenkins.
Ooh,
Yeah, I thought about that
The
one as well.
Rams we don't fancy keeping you, so they tagged Tremaine Johnson instead. And he's not a bad player by any
No.
stretch. I mean, he's good in man coverage. He makes some plays, but he's getting some big. He's getting a 5-year deal at $62.5 million, and guaranteed money from that is $29.5, which is the second highest among all cornerbacks. So more than Patrick Peterson,
Yeah,
Richard Loudmouth Sherman, which I think
his official middle name.
yeah, check his birth certificate. I think Jenkins has a tendency of losing concentration and letting up big plays, and he even said himself that the biggest part of his game that he needs to improve is to stop being lazy at the end of the games.
Oh, good. Good
I
selling
think,
point.
yeah, I think what
that
he
got
meant
him
is
some extra money.
Yeah. I'm a bit lazy. Yeah. Give me more money.
But yeah, I just think it's a lot of money for someone that's not one of the best of his position. He wasn't even the best of his position at the team he was at.
I think
Yeah.
I knew you. Well, the Giants are another team that have chucked a bucket of money around,
Yeah.
really, aren't they? And on
Giants are under pressure now.
yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit to kind of perform, which I kind of agree with you, Jenkins. He has some sort of. I think they're relatively minor, but he has some off-field issues as well.
Yeah.
He's
So
crazy.
yes, yeah, that's what I was trying to be delicate about it, but yes, he's crazy.
He's crazy.
So, which another reason why Tremaine Johnson got the tag and not Jenkins, you got to say. So, good choice.
Thank you.
Solid choices round, which is good. My next one is going to be relatively quick. Matt Schaub for the Falcons,
Really?
and the reason
I'm
is,
surprised he made it onto the podcast, to be honest.
the reason I put him is I put no
was a bet.
one should ever sign him ever, even for nothing.
Well,
So,
I
fair
agree.
reason.
I agree.
he is the king of the interception, and not in a good way. So
Yeah, pick six king.
I don't really know. I mean, he's their backup now, so well
They
done.
just need to hope they don't get
Well done,
an
Atlanta.
injury.
Good job. Move on, Ross.
My third team, I think, is the Bengals. They've lost.
We've already had that, haven't we?
Well, they were talking about the what was it?
Oh, right.
Receivers,
Jones and Sanu.
But I just think the team in general, they've lost Jones and Sanu, and a couple of other receivers. And as Danny said earlier, their receiver core isn't that great anymore.
No.
And they've lost quite a few defenders as well. I think Reggie Nelson's gone, isn't he?
Pac-Man.
They did keep Pac-Man.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think
Pac-Man
Reggie
they
is still
signed-
available, Reggie Nelson,
Yeah.
but they've not offered him
Signed
They
anything.
haven't,
safety
they haven't
back.
re-signed him.
Yeah.
Iloka?
Yes.
And Vincent Ray as well. They signed him back.
Goodbye.
And they seem to have released like 4 defensive tackles as well. So who is their defensive tackle now? I don't really know.
They've
Oh,
got
it's
Gino
quite-
Atkins.
Gino Atkins, who
Oh,
is
beyond
one of
that,
the
I
best.
don't
but they
know.
seem to have released all the other
Yeah,
ones.
but to be fair, yeah, they do need another one
Yeah,
to kind of help.
definitely need a couple.
To help out.
It's
so
the perfect draft to find a defensive tackle.
that's true.
well, one of mine was Pac-Man Jones. Was my ones just because he's risky and he's an idiot.
What, as a bad sign?
As a bad sign, yeah. As a bad keep. I mean, he's a very good return man, but again, I think on the same lines of you saying that, but the Bengals haven't done
But look at
brilliant
his
in the
contract.
offseason.
$0
That's true.
of guaranteed money.
That is very true. He does.
They can
yeah,
say
very
goodbye
true.
whenever they want.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point. So, that's
I like that
maybe
contract.
but it's a good contract, but he is unpredictable. I suppose if they can cut him whenever they like, so I'll shut up. Steve.
The next one on my list would have ground Gary's gears.
Hashtag
Brian Gary.
Hashtag
I
Gary.
had Olivier Vernon for.
So did I.
Yeah.
Just I don't know if we want to go into it in any detail, given we've already touched on the Giants a little, but
I think we should.
for my main beef with that contract is the amount of guaranteed money.
It's ridiculous.
Vernon's a good player,
Yeah.
and he will help them, but
It's just looking
that
at
amount of money taking up that
52.5.
that
is
yeah
guaranteed
that
cash.
much cap room.
It's just mental.
They could have spent that money better in other ways, I'm sure.
Unpredictable as well. He's only 25. He is a good player, but he wasn't the only piece of that Miami defense, and that Miami defense wasn't good.
Yeah,
With him,
Yeah,
Sue
last year they
and
were
Wake.
patchy at best.
Yeah, and
Like
crazy
Jackson,
money.
though, he's been overpaid. He's not going to live up to his contract unless he suddenly turns into like a Hall of Famer for the next 5 years. Maybe he will.
I've just done a bit of
Yeah.
maths while you've been talking.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, steady
I
on.
can do maths.
Mental arithmetic.
So for the three,
That's a new nickname.
for Vernon, Jenkins, and Harrison, in guaranteed money, it's over 105 million for the three of them.
That's crazy, isn't it?
That
Wow.
is
Madness.
that's bonkers. That's bonkers. So
Smarter.
that's just in guaranteed.
That's guaranteed. Yeah.
I mean, you've got to look. Their contracts structured. Damon Harrison 46 million over 5 years. Janoris Jenkins 62 over 5, and Olivier Vernon 85 over 5. Big money, lot of money. Well done, Giants.
Giants better win their division, otherwise someone's going to get the sack.
Yeah, and they've still got big holes on offense as well. They've got one player, pretty much.
Oh.
My boy.
Oh yeah, we're not going to say his name.
The thing is,
they need
the
to.
way they
Thank
spend
you.
their money is as though they're in win now mode, kind of
Yeah.
like John Elway 2-3 years ago when
Yeah.
he got his hands on Peyton Manning.
Hmm.
But he had all of the rest of the pieces in place at that time. The Giants have very few
Giants,
of the pieces
yeah.
required in place.
Yeah,
Lots
let's
of
just go nuts. Let's
Yeah,
just
so
go
it
nuts.
just stinks of Jerry Reese desperately trying to save his
Yeah.
job.
It does. It does. We're agreeing too much on all of these. I feel.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
I don't like it.
Feet,
There you
you
go.
Oh, go on,
Chuck
I've
us
got
something
one
controversial.
more. Yeah,
chuck us something.
Chase
controversial.
Daniel. There you go, literally chucking it with the quarterback there. Chase Daniel.
Chase Daniels. I thought the same actually.
yeah.
about Chase Daniels.
Yeah, I think why.
Yeah.
That's my first question, just why. But then I think, it's the Eagles, so that clearly explains why.
The
That
Eagles,
they're
that's
paying
why.
2 quarterbacks, starting quarterback money. Doesn't make sense, but then can you rely on Bradford? No.
So don't
yeah,
give him a
but
pay rise.
Chase Daniel
What,
is.
what has Chase Daniel
Yeah.
done?
He,
I don't know, probably
he's
less than
unknown.
Brock.
Yeah.
So, but he's not being paid Brock.
I'm not going to endorse the Chase Daniels one, but
It was
the
a bad-
why is Sam Bradford
Yeah.
because he's permanently injured, and even when he's on the field, he's limited anyway.
But then why?
Pedersen,
why keep him?
Pedersen,
Mm.
obviously, yeah, that would be my
Mm.
my question, if you like.
Yeah, the amount of money for the two of them
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't
But
make sense.
Pedersen
More than
obviously
Brock.
has worked with
Yeah.
Daniels. Daniels. I'm not sure. what his
Chase
name
Daniel.
is.
I think it's
Daniel.
just Daniel.
Just Daniel, yeah.
But,
Just Chase sounds cool.
yeah.
Chase.
So he knows Chase better than
Daniel.
most.
He does.
So
He
perhaps he
does.
knows something we don't.
He's got a good name.
If he knew something that we don't keep Bradford.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he
agreed.
knows something that he clearly knows he's not good enough to be a starter. But he signed him to be one.
Yeah, well, that is the problem. Is Bradford clearly has proven that he can't do the job. Really, he can't stay healthy, and when he is healthy, he's just not good enough. So why they're sticking with him? I don't know. Danny,
The Browns. Oh, the Browns.
just the Browns.
Just the team.
It had to come up.
Yeah, this
I've
is
got
on
him
my
down
list.
there as well. Just
Well,
one
that-
word.
they
Browns.
can't draw.
Let's give them props. They let Manziel go.
Yeah.
Good decision.
They're on my good list because of that.
My 2-year-old daughter could have made that decision.
Yeah,
it's not a hard
that's
decision to
true.
make.
Go on,
But
reasons.
they've lost some big players. They lost Alex Mack, who basically just wanted to go and voided his contract. I think Dave
That's
spoke
his
about
older-
the loophole in his contract a few podcasts ago. But now he's gone off to the Falcons and is now the highest paid centre in the league.
Mhm.
So he was a 3-time Pro Bowler. So there's that out the door. Benjamin, who was probably their most productive receiver last year, came off just under 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. So he's gone off to the Chargers to give them a bit of a deep threat. Sean Gibson gone to the Jags.
Yeah.
Apparently the Browns had the 3rd worst pass coverage last year, and now that's just going to go and get worse because they've lost Gibson.
Dreadful team.
And Mitchell Schwartz as well, the tackle who's started every game for 4 straight years for the Browns,
Has gone.
has now gone.
Yeah, it's a worrying
like-
trend in Cleveland
Yeah.
that they
Nobody
don't
wants to go there and
over the
everyone
last
wants to
few
leave.
years. Yeah, they haven't had many quality players, but
No.
the ones that they have had always leave.
Want
Yeah.
to leave,
Well, because
yeah.
why would you?
Well, the Mitchell Schwartz is very interesting because they made an offer, which I think he was pretty keen about, and then they withdrew it. So he thought, "Screw you! I'm going to go and sign someone else."
It's there's the decisions made in that place are just bonkers. There was an article on Bleacher that I was just reading through earlier, and the headline of the article was, "Is Cleveland the worst team in recent history in the NFL?"
In
Got to
sports
say
in general.
yes.
You got to say yes. Yeah, I mean, they're
Simple.
they are
Yes.
they are
The
dreadful.
Raiders have been bad, but the Browns
Browns.
have been worse.
Yeah.
Awful.
So that's well, we've been very negative. All the rest of mine have actually been said by everybody. So
Same.
we've been quite negative. Let's look at some positives
What a bunch
now.
of negative
Oh, yeah.
Nancy's.
Let's go on. Well, I thought we'd end on the
Positives.
positives so that we're nice and happy people, sort of. So Ross, give
We
us a
know you better
positive.
than that, Bob.
Have you done teams again?
I've done teams again, yes.
oh
Just to
goodness.
be a rebel.
Is just
Sorry,
to be a
guys.
rebel? Is this just because you were lazy and couldn't be bothered to look at individual players?
No.
Okay,
Um,
go for it.
So my top positive team was my team who I predicted was going to do well next year, and that's the Jaguars.
The Jaguars.
They've improved a bit on defense, which they needed to. They've got another running back with Yeldon as well.
Yeah,
and
which
just in case Yeldon does get injured, they've got Ivory just there as well because he's pretty decent. And yeah, I mean they've kind of
They signed the Prince.
they've got Prince
Yeah,
They've got
they
Dante Fowler coming back from
They have.
injury
Fowler
as
as
well.
well.
So
I mean,
that's
yeah,
I know it's not a free agency signing,
I
but
think their team is looking pretty
They're
on the
solid
up.
for next year, definitely.
They've
that
signed
was
a new
that was the
punter.
thing with them last year. The defense was just
Yeah,
they couldn't stop
definitely.
anyone from scoring points.
Mm.
So that was what they needed to improve, and potentially they have with these.
Well, they've got the offense. We've talked
Nice.
about them a lot. They've got the offense. I think we all agree as a team really that they've got a great offense in the
Yeah.
future, and one that is so young, it's going to keep going,
Gonna
keep going,
grow,
keep
Yeah,
going.
definitely, yeah.
They've re-signed Mercedes Lewis as well, who's not an awful tight end. He's not brilliant, but he's okay.
Experience, knows the skill.
Yeah, experience,
Exactly.
definitely.
He can catch a ball.
Thomas will probably get
Um,
injured at some point.
They're filling holes. They're making smart decisions.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
even though I don't like the Jackson signing because of the money. I like it because of the player, but not because of the money. I think, good, sort of. Even though, two of the players we did have on our negative list, but we'll
yeah,
sort
but I
that
think
out.
Oh.
We'll side with that.
both of those were money.
It
Yeah.
was
From the
money
money
in
side, from the
need,
money
really.
side.
It was money in need.
Yeah.
They
But I
have to
think-
spend the money, of course. They
Yeah.
can't not spend it. So I guess someone is going to get overpaid.
Yeah, exactly. So, good boys, Jacksonville. We hope that you do well. They're coming back next year. We're getting them again, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wembley.
for the next
Against the
few
Colts.
years.
Are they? They're the Wembley one, though, aren't they? They're not. They're not one of the. They're one of the Wembley ones. They're not the Twickenham one. Yeah, Twickenham's Giants, isn't it?
Yeah.
Giants Rams.
Giants Rams.
Giants
yeah.
Rams. Woo! New York and
Giant
LA
Rams.
coming to the
Gurley and
Twickenham,
Beckham.
and we'll all struggle to get there on public transport. Woo!
Yeah, public transport.
Go London! No, we love London. We do, but just not public transport. Steve, positive.
Ladarius Green.
Oh, you nicked mine.
Say this one.
I love
everybody's.
this one.
I love it as well.
I
really
think
love
it's
it.
a really good pickup for them. I'm disappointed the Chargers let him go,
Mm.
but it didn't surprise me because we've never fully utilised him in 4 years.
It's odd. He's a great player and he's young.
Yeah, he's such a matchup nightmare. He's electrically fast
Mm.
for a tight end, and he's a big guy. He's 6'6", so he's too quick for most linebackers and safeties, and too tall for most corners.
Yeah.
So just covering him is difficult, and in that offense, I think he'll play an even bigger role with the recent news about Bryant. I think he
Big Ben
could
likes
have
his
a
tight ends.
big statistical year.
I
Fantasy
agree.
sleeper. Fantasy
Yeah,
sleeper.
absolutely.
I've got that. I think we all, well, other than Ross who didn't follow the rules, we all pretty much had him. And my reason was exactly that. He's just another great weapon, and he's young. He's only 25. I mean, well,
It's not a lot of
it's
money,
not an
but-
expensive contract.
No.
it's
Yeah.
4.75 million. I
When
said
you
that
compare that to Fleener, who would have been another negative one of mine for the money that
Yeah.
he got,
Big
it's
money
a
for Kobe.
bargain compared to that
Yeah.
contract.
Kobe's been running his mouth as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
So we all agree on that.
Kobe.
Oh, look, another one.
We
We
agree
on.
again.
We agree again. I know. We know each other too well. Feet.
Yeah, I'm going with one that I know you may agree with. Matt Forte.
I do. Me and
Yeah,
Steve talked
Matt
about this.
Forte.
Yeah.
I feel that the Jets there, obviously we talked about Ivory, but to get Forte in on the deal he's on, it's a bargain.
It is a bargain.
I think he's still got a lot to give. Obviously he's not going to be on the field every play, but that's fine.
It's
Well, they've still got Powell, haven't they?
They've got
Powell.
Powell.
It's
And,
12 million with 9 guaranteed for 3 years, and you've just got to think that is cheap.
Yeah.
I know he's 30, and I know I love him. I'm biased, but he's not really shown the signs of a 30-year-old running back slowing down. Yeah, he was a bit injured this year, but even when he came back, he was just as effective as he was before he got injured. And he's a very good fit for that offense. He's a good fit for any offense.
Basically half the price of Chris Ivory and a better player, I think.
Yeah.
Still.
It reminds me a lot of when they signed LT, LaDainian
Yeah.
Tomlinson from the Chargers a few years ago.
Mhm.
A guy who was past his best. No one would argue against that,
Mhm.
but can still do a job.
Yep.
And can come in and they'll keep him on, to borrow an American analogy, a pitch count.
Yeah.
They need to make sure he's not on the field as often as he's been in recent years, but he's still got plenty to offer in the right role.
I would. Yeah, Chicago. We did rely heavily on him.
That's what happens when you got.
It always happens when you've got nothing
Jay.
else, really. But he's a very good pass catching back. He does fit that system really well. I think a big draw was actually Brandon Marshall. I think that he helped bring him in because they know each other really well. I love him. I'll still love him at the Jets. I'll love him whatever happens.
I
Do
love
you-
the Jets. I think that's just been.
I don't love
That
the
Sanchez
Jets.
jersey.
No, I like the Jets as a team.
You've got a
I've
Jets
got a
Jets
Sanchez
jersey.
Jets jersey.
I've got a Sanchez jersey, yeah, which you make me wear. It's too small, which you make me wear. But yeah, I agree with you. That was another one of mine. So you're stealing all of mine off the board, Danny.
Well, I just want to say regarding that Forte one,
Oh, right.
are things going to change much if they don't keep Fitzpatrick? I mean, is that going to cost Forte some opportunity if they're going to be struggling to scrambling for a quarterback?
For me, I don't think so. I think it would actually raise his opportunities because you've got to think, a quarterback who's not got as good an arm as Fitzpatrick
Shorter passing.
will rely on Forte a lot
True.
for the short passing.
True that.
I'll be the first to admit that Chicago's offense has been brilliant for the last few years, but Matt Forte has, and he's consistently been in the top 5, top 10 running backs every season. So it's not going to stop him. Injury will stop him. I think that's the only thing it's going to. Anyway, do what I told you.
Yes, sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Sticking with running backs.
I've got to keep this flowing.
running back.
Going with the flow. Sticking with running backs. well, Ross sort of touched on the fact that the Dolphins letting him go was a bad move. Lamar Miller to the Texans.
That's another one of mine.
I think he never really got as many carries as he probably should have at the Dolphins. They never looked like they were really using him to the full potential. Whereas I think the Texans will allow him to be a full featured back. Foster always sort of did well in that offense. I think Miller's now got the opportunity to do the same, as well as having sort of Hopkins and an improved quarterback, despite what Steve may think with Brock. That may sort of take some attention away from him and get him some gaps to run through.
And you've got to think they're going to use him.
I think
use him like Miami did
for the deal. The best person it's for really is such a good opportunity for Miller to
You all right there?
put himself up
Fine,
there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you clearing your chest?
Yeah.
Are you fine? Can we carry on?
Yeah, carry
You
on.
are-
Sorry.
You might be better if you take your hat off.
Yeah,
Oh,
it might
no,
actually.
no,
Yeah.
it's fine.
It's
No, you're
compressing your cough nerve.
A cough nerve.
I'm a vet.
He's a
Come
vet,
on.
he knows
I
these
know
things.
these things. You have a cough nerve. Hate house. It's got leopard print on it.
It's a sexy hat.
It's really not. It's really not.
Anyway.
Lamar Miller, anyway.
But yeah, I
NFL.
think Lamar Miller is going to do well there. Good move.
I
Well
agree.
done. Well
I
done,
agree.
Houston.
Solid move. My first one is Travis Benjamin to San Diego. I really like that signing. I like Travis Benjamin as a player. I think he did very good things, even with Johnny. We've mentioned him 3 times. Well, even with Johnny Johnny Manziel as his quarterback, he's quick. He's little, but he's so quick. He's so quick, and you know you'll agree with this, Steve. P. Riv needed some weapons, really, didn't he?
I'll agree with that.
Okay,
Ooh.
but don't agree with Benjamin.
I haven't seen much of Benjamin. So statistically last year, given his situation, very good.
1 year wonder.
But my view of him and all of our other free agent signings this year is clouded by the success or lack of it of previous free agent signings in San Diego. So I'm instantly pessimistic when I look at things. So on my list of negatives, I had Dwight Lowry. Mainly because he's not Eric Weddle. But Benjamin is someone that I still need to be convinced by.
Okay, fair enough. I like him, and I think he'll. I don't know whether he's going to be the answer. He's not going to be your wide receiver 1, but I just think he adds.
He doesn't need to be.
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't. He just adds
Deep
a
threat,
slightly
deep
different.
He'll be stepping into
atmosphere.
the Malcolm Floyd role.
That's
now
why I
that he's
like
retired.
him, and it's not massive money. It's not a small amount of money, but it's not massive money that he's come
He's
to
a
you
poor
for. so-
man's Deshaun Jackson.
He is.
He's
That's what he is.
one thing I will say about Benjamin.
That smug look on your face. He says, "Yes, what a soundbite." Oh, bless him.
He is very different, Benjamin, to our recent receivers. Rivers, throughout most of his career, has had tall guys
Mhm.
who can go up and win it in traffic. Benjamin isn't that sort of guy,
No,
size-wise.
Something different.
Doesn't mean he's going to be a failure. though.
Something different. Right, we need to move on. You,
Me,
Hat Boy,
team
go on.
man.
Give me another one.
I'm gonna please someone sat in the
I
room,
know
and
what
I'm
you're
going to go for the Raiders.
No way.
Yes, someone
They,
has to. I
they
was
seem
trying
to be
not-
linked with absolutely everybody.
It's got money. They've got
and
money
they've
to
actually
pay.
improved on the defense where they needed to.
They
With,
did.
uh,
They did.
Brucey Irvin and Sean Smith.
Yep.
They were 2 very good signings. And they replaced Jamarcus Webb with, I don't know how to say his name,
Osimele.
Osimele.
Yeah, we had this issue last week.
Kalichi
Yeah.
Osimele. Maybe.
It's- but no,
Osimele we'll go
good,
with.
some good
Which one
signings.
is-
Oh, we'll actually call him KO.
KO.
Oh,
I like
nice.
that.
That's good.
So
He-
knockout
oh,
signing.
He's young as well. I didn't realise he was
He's
that
young,
I thought he
he's
was older
big.
than that.
And he's good.
And he's good. That's a good
What
signing.
more do you
Yeah.
want?
Those are 3 really strong signings. You got to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the smart thing about those filling holes.
Oh,
Yeah, each one of them.
Innuendo.
Oh dear God, grow up,
Yeah,
children.
we filled a lot of holes there.
Oh.
3 holes to be precise.
3.
3
Yeah.
holes filled,
3, yeah.
well and truly.
And
Yeah. Oh dear
Is that
God.
another nickname for a future podcast? Three Holes Field.
For Holes Field, yeah. That could be the name of this one.
it goes with the Raiders though, and the black hole. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we should stop the
Let's
whole
stop talking about holes. Right,
Steve.
We'll end on that, Steve. Yeah, Steve.
Well, I had next on my list was
got red.
Kelechi Osemele.
Oh, okay.
That was mainly just because I wanted.
as well.
I just wanted to say Kelechi Osemele.
Yeah.
I haven't got a lot more to say about him.
Oh no, well, we said it before. We said it last week. He has been one of the best tackles prior to this signing. He's only 26.
Yeah.
Sorry, guard. Prior to this signing, his contract. It's a big contract, but I think who cares? It's for 5 years, and you're going to have a great player for 5 years.
Yep.
So
Him in, away you go.
Brilliant signing. Matthew.
Right. Well, that only leaves me with 2 players, so I'll go with the real sexy pick, which.
Sexy pick.
Actually, no, we sort of mentioned him earlier, so I won't go for him.
Oh, right.
Well, I'll go for.
Who was it?
It was Mitchell Schwartz.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Move
sexy.
on.
For the Chiefs.
I see what
Yeah.
you mean about sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of the Schwarzmeister.
So we'll go with Danny Trevathan.
Yes!
For the Bears.
I thought no one was going to mention a bear.
Fair
I didn't.
I think
I didn't.
they've signed everyone and his mum. But I think he's the best of all of them.
Yeah.
And definitely a loss. I liked it because the Broncos lost a good player.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just me being selfish, but I think the Bears have got a
Being
solid
mean.
linebacker there.
Yeah, he's very good.
I've got him paired on my list with Jarrell Freeman. Actually,
Yeah.
I think they'll be a good combo.
Yeah, I agree.
Both can play run and pass defense.
Mhm.
Both can stay on the field for all 3 downs. I
Watch
think they're
out!
two good
Watch
pickups.
out! NFC North, we're coming, baby.
The
And
Bears are coming.
I love both of those. I'm just going to say I disagree with you. I think Bobby Massey is a very good signing for us at tackle. 2 reasons. One, he's a very good tackle from the Cardinals. We stole him off you. And 2, it means, hopefully, thankfully, that Carl Long can go
goes
back
back
where
to
he
guard.
belongs, which is a guard. And if that happens, I think we could have a reasonably decent O-line. So, fingers crossed.
Just remember who's behind the O-line, and then
That's true.
you'll be scared.
And we kept Zach Miller, which I was actually quite happy about. He's cheap, no guaranteed money, $6 million.
There you go. You got your Bears bit in
Yeah,
there.
we got the Bears bit in. We won't mention that anymore. We got the Bears bit in. I was going to call you Nick then. Don't know
Nick's
where that
not
came
here,
from.
mate.
Nick's not here. No,
No, not
Danny, whatever your name is.
T-boy.
T-boy.
I like a bit of business that the Titans have been doing. So they picked up. I'm not overly excited about Rashard Matthews, but it adds a little bit more to the passing game. But mainly, I know it's not free agency; it's a trade. Sorry, but
Don't say it.
I like DeMarco Murray to the Titans.
I swear you said Giants at the start of that.
No, I said Titans.
No,
Did
they're
you?
definitely Titans.
Definitely
Oh,
Titans,
right.
yeah.
Giants.
I
You can
Giants.
listen
Breaks
to it
my
again.
heart.
I got all. I just was all starry-eyed with the Bears.
Oh, goodness me.
Okay, we're talking about the Titans.
Small victories.
But I think the moves they've made in free agency suggest that they're definitely going to go with O-line for the first pick of the draft, which
well, they got it.
need.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're taking some pressure off of Mariota's back with a running back that, for people who only saw NFL last year, is actually very good.
Yeah.
He
Potentially.
obviously was not happy at Philadelphia and did not fit the scheme. So
No.
I think he's going to be extra motivated because he really wanted to get out there.
He could have just come back to the Cowboys.
I'm
come back to the
going to
Cowboys,
disagree
but-
with you slightly on those.
fine.
Well, no, just my problem is it's on potential. It's not DeMarco Murray. Yes, he has, he can be a very good player, but Dallas, a lot of that was A, the volume of carries that he got, and B, the O-line he was behind. And arguably he had a weaker O-line, and yes, he didn't fit the system last year. And also my problem with Rashard Matthews, I like him as a player. My worry is if he doesn't live up to the potential of being a top wide receiver, they still don't really have any weapons.
I don't think he's going to be their top one.
No,
I
he's
think
not. But I think that's the problem. Is I think they're still looking for those top players.
Well, I
fill
do
those
rate
holes.
Darrell Green Beckham. I think he's
I think
going to
he'll
That's
he's
true.
gonna
Be on
step
the
up.
That's true.
Definitely.
That's true.
He's got the physicality, and I think he picked up at the end of
And
last year.
Kendall Wright's not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think DGB, as I'm going to call him for short, is going to prove himself as a wide receiver one.
You
Next
and your
season.
Beckhams. You and your
It's not
Beckhams.
just because it's called Beckham.
Beckhams.
Oh, right. So anyway, the Beckhams. So yeah, I suppose. I disagree, but anyway.
Fine.
My
We'll do
last
that.
one is a bit left field, actually. Mine is Robert Ayers to the Bucks, the defensive end from the Giants. Now, I looked through his stats of past years, and they've not been great until last year. But 2015, he played 12 games. He got 9.5 sacks. I think he got four forced fumbles. He was very good on a poor Giants defense. His contract is not huge by any stretch. It's 19.5 with 10.5 guaranteed. I just like him as a bit of a punt, and I think that they've tried to. I do like a punt. I do.
Yeah, you just said it.
They've tried to fill a hole there. They need to
Holes
improve
again.
their defence. Yeah, holes again.
There we are again.
Yeah, they've got a lot of a big need on defensive line.
They do.
They're wasting the precious years of Gerald McCoy at his prime with no one else to help him.
Yeah, and I think Robert Ayers could improve that. Whether he's going to be, he's not going to be a JJ Watt, but I think that he is going to be a solid player.
They've got their JJ Watt. They've got Gerald McCoy.
Well, yeah.
He's underrated.
He
He's
is.
not
I do agree with you, but you know what I mean. He's another player who will help, and then hopefully they can build on the defense for the off season and the draft. You got to think is what they're going to do. We're in the off season, the draft. So I think we need to stop there really, or slow down there really, because we're coming up to the hour. It's been a good chat, boys. We've there's probably a lot more. I mean, there's a bucket load more players that we could talk about.
More Raiders maybe.
But with more Raiders maybe.
No, I'm all raided out.
More Bears as well. Definitely.
Cowboys? Oh, no, wait.
What do you mean no? Right, Raiders have done well. I've admitted that.
Yeah.
And you admit that the Bears have done well.
Well, I look down the rest of the list that we have.
What about the rest of us? It's not just about you two.
Yes, it is.
Well, I'm trying to think.
Cardinals have done nothing. Cowboys suck.
Chandler Jones.
We do
Chargers
suck. We've
suck.
done literally nothing.
Actually, yeah, the Cowboys have done
The
nothing.
The Chargers,
Couldn't even
I
get
like
Murray.
some of the signings, and then I look a little bit more in depth, and I'm just not sure.
Do you know the best thing about free agency though, is that there's one particular team, a member of our group, who always throws in as many mentions of his particular team as he can. They don't do a lot in free agency, so we haven't mentioned them. And I'm not even going to say the name of the team because I think we all know who.
Well,
who I mean.
I'll put it out there. All they've done is re-signed Nick Perry
There you go.
for a whopping 1 year, $5,050,000 guaranteed, 1.5.
We did it, guys.
Front page
Oh,
news.
they're just
Decent.
the excitement coming out of that place. Wherever it
Don't
happens
say it.
to
Wondering
be.
where you were going to say. for a second.
Whole
So
podcast without saying it.
anyway, yes. So good stuff. That's it for this week. Next week we're probably going to have a lot more free agency talk going on. Probably not a lot more, but there is going to be more. Week 2 it does die down a little bit. Week 3 and 4 quite a bit. But then we're going to be having a run up into the draft. So we'll be talking news.
Love the draft.
We do like the draft. The draft is exciting times. We'll be doing a lot more news and things when it comes round to that. So if you want to tweet us, you can catch us on @SnapCountPod. We also have the hashtags GrindGary and
Beautiful hashtags.
And don't
yeah,
mention
for
Green
any
Bay.
for any grievances that you might have, anything you want to moan about, anything you want to hear Gary moan about, then just hashtag that. Also the Would You Rather game, hashtag us some Would You Rathers.
Keep it clean.
Our Twitter guy Dave hasn't been doing it this week, so we don't actually know whether you've sent any in. So apologies if you have, but Dave has been awful at keeping up with his job. But yes, you can tweet us.
He's doing his actual job.
Yeah, he's doing his actual job that he gets paid for. That's not as important. We're on Facebook as well, as we mentioned before, so look us up on Facebook. You can give those hashtags to Facebook as well, and we will read them through. We have a YouTube channel. Ross, what is our YouTube channel?
Just the snap count.
Just the snap count.
YouTube, yeah.
Keep it simple.
Search it.
Brilliant, nice and simple. Again, you can find us on Podomatic. Well, actually, I don't know why I say that on this because you would have found
Because
us.
you already have.
You would have found us. So yeah, that's completely pointless. Completely pointless me saying that. But thank you to. I'm getting so good at these outros, really, aren't I? I'm nailing it.
You hit the hour mark.
Left,
and
right,
and
and
all
left,
focus goes
left,
out
right,
the
and
window.
centre. Yeah. Thank you to everyone around the table. Thank you from Ross.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank
Matthew
you.
there, Steve and Danny, and thank you
welcome.
to myself. We will hopefully see you all very soon.
Love you. Bye. Bye.